Monument Valley is a very cute point-and-click puzzle game. You play as Ada, and your job is to solve geometrical puzzles to return all geometric artifacts to their places. What's really interesting is that this game started out as a mobile game back in the day, but got ported to PC. It looks really great, and the environments are quite beautiful, and playing with your totem friend makes solving puzzles even better. It took me about 2.5 hours to complete all levels of the Panoramic Edition, which includes 2 DLCs, and in my opinion it was quite worth the money I paid for it. I got the bundle including the second game for €5.34. It's a fun little cozy puzzle game, perfect for on a day off. Monument Valley 2 is a great sequel to Monument Valley. The story is touching and more clear than its predecessor. The puzzles are fun to complete, especially the ones you do together with Ro and her daughter. It's still focused on geometrical puzzles, and the environments still look very beautiful. I loved the return of our totem friend, this time Blue Edition. I was quite sad to learn this game is shorter than the first game, but the puzzles were of good quality, so it's not a reason to not buy this one. I really recommend you buy the Panoramic Edition bundle to get both games, which I got for €5.34. This franchise is great, and I'm glad I stumbled across it. Unplagued is from the Garten of Ban devs. I wasn't expecting much. I like the premise of the game, the whole making potions thing and then curing the plagued village, but the delivery just isn't there. The game is janky, the physics really don't want to physics sometimes. The monster got stuck behind our carriage and could not get out for the entirety of the game. All in all, the game is just broken. I see the potential, but I cannot recommend it in its current state. Now, this is a Metroidvania done right. I love the art style of Death's Door, and the combat feels very smooth. Sometimes I wondered why I got hit while I was dodging, but that was probably a skill issue. The map is really good. I really enjoyed finding all of the secrets and hidden areas once I unlocked all of my skills. The true ending is definitely worth getting, as it has some of my favorite puzzles and secrets of the entire game. The only tedious part is finding all of the life seeds and their pots, since there is no in-game list to keep track of the ones you've already seen and found. A video guide will help you lots with this achievement. Something to note is that you cannot return to or redo the boss fights once you've beaten them in your save file, so that's something to keep in mind if you like to 100% games. The bosses themselves were really fun and all had very distinct attack patterns and personalities. I love the story and the lore of the game, and this is definitely a Metroidvania I highly recommend. We Were Here Expeditions: The Friendship is a very enjoyable puzzle game made for 2. The puzzles are challenging to figure out at first, but are very much doable once you've figured them out. Teamwork is very much required, as you are very dependent on your partner, but with some proper communication you will certainly get there. The walkie-talkies work alright, although for clarity reasons I did prefer to be on a call rather than use the walkie-talkies, because I have a tendency to accidentally talk over other people. There are only 3 puzzles, but for the price they are definitely worth it. I personally got the game for free in its launch week. It definitely interested me in the other games of the We Were Here franchise, so I'll keep an eye out for any sales. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Slay the Princess is a visual novel game with horror elements where choices do matter, but not actually. There is no right or wrong path. It is one of the most detailed visual novels I've ever played, and the eeriness of certain princesses is just immaculate. Did you know that for the entire game only 2 voice actors were used? And yet every character feels very distinct from the others. Since the Pristine Cut update, there's been even more paths and endings to explore, and even after 10 hours, I still have only seen about half of the possible paths this game has to offer. I'm definitely going to try to see all of them. Everything is hand-drawn and both the art and music are really beautiful. The game's been on my radar since the end of 2023, and I'm glad I've finally gotten the chance to play it. Make sure you go in blind as much as possible, enjoy this cosmic horror romance story, and definitely go play it right now. I Am Your Beast is a very fun first-person shooter about revenge and survival. You play as Harding, a retired Secret Services agent who has been summoned by Birkins, but you refuse. What follows is Birkins trying to kill you in the forest you call your home. The voice acting in this game is so perfect. The story itself is great and has nice thriller elements to it, and the gameplay feels smooth and responsive. The comic book-like art style fits the vibes of the game very well. The only semi-negative thing I have to note as someone who is bad at first-person shooter games is that the story progression is locked behind performance in the levels. For example, you need an A rank in at least 3 levels to proceed at some point, but the game is forgiving enough that achieving it was not too hard. I like the non-canon challenge levels, at least the ones I have unlocked so far, and overall this is a very well polished game. I am very glad I played this game in February's Steam Next Fest. I highly recommend this game. Apart from these games, I have also played a little bit of other things. For example, I played Placid Plastic Duck Simulator's Rooftop 1% DLC when it came out. I also finished the main game of Monster Hunter Rise and started the Sunbreak DLC, so once I've played through that, I will also review that. I did the Deep Rock Galactic Rocktoberfest, and I'm also working on the Halloween event. And I also played a little bit of Donald Duck Going Quackers on my PlayStation 1, because I am so happy to be able to say this. I managed to fix my PlayStation 1 and hook it up to my TV. So you may see some old PlayStation 1 game reviews come up eventually. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!